He said it was when y'all were talking about Jack Harlow and then Eminem not being king of hip hop. I bought up his verses on 2001 Get Rich or Die Trying and the Blueprint. So he was
Okay.
actually trying to give him some credit for his contributions to those albums and his verses
Let's
on those
see.
albums, which quite frankly is some of his best stuff, if we're just being
I
honest.
think it actually is. You know, I would say Get Rich or Die Trying and the Blueprint verse from Renegade. I think that's Eminem at the peak of his talents, honestly. You know, my favorite Eminem album is The Eminem Show. That's 2002. So the way he was rapping on in 2002 and 2003, I think is some of the peak of his talents. I think 2001, no pun intended, the Dr. Dre album. Is this? Do you think he was the MVP of that album?
If he wrote The Watcher,
He wrote The Watcher,
I
straight up.
mean, do you don't you think The Watcher is probably Dr. Dre's best mic performance?
I think so. Times is changing. Young niggas is aging, becoming OGs in the game. To change. Yeah.
And I
I,
was thinking the other one. This is how deep Dr. Dre shit goes. Is that I was thinking to find a better Dr. Dre mic performance begin to end, you got to go to Keep Your Heads Ringing, which I think is the DLC, and then Express Yourself, which is Ice Cube.
I knew you were gonna say Express Yourself. I think Keep the Heads Ringing was what is his name? Sam Snead, I believe.
Oh, Sam Snead. Okay,
Yeah.
Well,
Blue
like
Collar Hustle with
one of them light skinned Shalimar looking.
You know who Keep Your Heads Ringing really sounds like? It really sounds like Kane. Honestly.
I can totally see that being
Yeah.
that king. I've been
Just
a
the way
bad
that he
nigga,
was
but
coming
let
with the
me tell you what I'm
punchlines on
worth.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. The way that he's hitting the punchline too
Yeah.
is very, very, very Kane-ish. Very 1991 Kane. Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Blue Collar Hustle. Excuse me. He says shout out to Pusha T, highest acclaimed rap album of the year to date, and his first #1 charting album. Drake somewhere crying, blackface tears. You know, we're gonna get into Drake a little bit too, and I'm glad Pusha T got that #1 spot. Congratulations to him. But you know, next week is gonna be all about Future. This Future album, man. What were your thoughts on the Future album? We're gonna get to it track for track.
Hold on. Yeah. So we just getting right to it. Hold on. What was that album that Fam was bringing up that we need to listen to that came out? I need to put it on the list.
Talking about Russ, or you talking about Scissorface?
Scissorface.
Okay. And Action Bronson too. Did does anybody know that Alchemist do production on the Action Bronson? I'm gonna look up the Action Bronson.
Of course he did. There's no way that didn't happen like that.
Right.
Right.
Well, yeah, 2001, Dr. Dre, Eminem might be the MVP of that album. I think Hitman makes a really good case too, because Hit was all over that album. I'm not really counting Mailman. We don't really know. See, on the mic, I guess I have to give it to Eminem because you got Forgot About Dre on there, which is a huge record for that album. But I truly believe if we talk about like the songs that have lasted the longest, obviously it's still DRE and Next Episode.
So that's where
And then you got Snoop there. So without Snoop, what are those songs?
So it's funny that we're having this conversation because part of we feel like the struggle with Eminem songs, even the great songs, are the staying power of the songs. Well, here is where when we're talking about, well, is he the MVP of 2001? And it's like, well, on a technical and fundamental level, like he kind of should be. But once again, we have the staying power of things. And part of what matters in music most is the legacy of the music in terms of how it reverberates. Snoop shit sounds most classic on 2001, doesn't it? The songs that Snoop are on are the most classic and the most replayable songs. Are we wrong?
I mean, the proof's in the pudding. You know, I see. It's so funny, man. You remember when 2001 came out in 1999? By the way, that was my senior year of high school, actually, and so when that shit dropped, it was first semester, man. It stopped everything. And I remember when Still DRE dropped because, you know, regardless of how people want to rewrite history, that Aftermath album and Been There, Done That, that shit happened. Like, it really did happen. And people thought Drake was kind of done for because he hadn't really given us anything as far as like him on an individual mic performance level, really since California Love. And so when that happened, Snoop was a big part of that song, getting that kind of like, those two guys back together. It felt like a resurgence of something. And I remember that song being like huge in the streets. MTV played it, but it feels like that song got a whole new life. Like, I feel like that song might have been the least successful at the time, but somehow its aura has grown over the years where now it's really Dre's flagship song, which is wild to me.
You want to know what?
I think it's one of the best hip hop records ever made, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
Because you want to know what? It's a low key. It's a "Mama Said Knock You Out" type of comeback.
It is. Song. It is.
Because I think people forget, and how this is how hip hop has changed so much as well, Mike, that in 1995 and 96, that's like All Eyes on Me, Dog Food territory. And by 1997 in the summertime, you have, Firm stuff, and then Dr. Dre presents the Aftermath stuff, like I think early 98. I think I heard East Coast, West Coast Killer like February, like the following year after the Firm album.
And I actually like that song too.
It's a great song, actually. Like Be Real and Nas's performance on there is actually pretty dope.
You got Be Real, Nas, KRS, and Scarface.
This is a dope record.
Jeez.
I like East Coast, West Coast Killer. It's a dope record.
Yeah.
But here's the reality of the matter. Were people feeling that coming from Dre? Nah. Exactly. And was the album that good? The Aftermath Presents? Did it have some moments? No, it had some moments.
Yeah.
But was that dope? Nah. Just like the Firm album, it's like, I got some moments, but not there. Well, this is somebody. Well, Mike, let's look at the catalog up into this point of stuff he's executive produced. Well, we have Straight Outta Compton, Niggas for Life.
Yeah.
We can do it better. The Chronic.
And Doggy Style. There's a standard there.
Mike, it ain't just no standard. That was Mike.
That was the standard.
What he did became the standard.
And at that point, people thought that we had heard the best of them, and that was it.
Right. So people thought it was done because it used to work like a running back career.
They said Face wasn't on that song. What song am I thinking about?
Been There, Done That?
No, Face was on one of these. He was either in the video or something. I'll look it up. But anyway, okay. No, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it was one of those things where the standard had been set. And then when you come with the Aftermath, it's not like it was a bad project. Same thing with the Firm. It's just underwhelming based on the personnel that was, set. Now, the other album that was mentioned in that super chat was, I'll get the blueprint out of the way real quick. Renegade shouldn't be on the blueprint, and I think we all know that. Now, it's not that Renegade is a...
verses. He's talking about verses, though. He's not talking about placement of songs in the super chat. He's talking about the verse itself. That's why I was like, no, he's talking about some of his best stuff. Okay.
I guess... I feel like he was talking about 3 classic albums and Eminem's, I guess... Contribution to those. Yes, thank you. Eminem's contribution to those classic albums.
Well, he said specifically in the super chat, he said, I bought up his verses on 2001, Get Rich or Die Trying in the Blueprint.
Did you like his verses on, I liked his verse on Don't Push Me. But I really wasn't a fan of that first song that, Patiently Waiting. I really wasn't a fan of Patiently Waiting. I don't know if it's the beat or what.
I actually, Mike, for me, his mic performances on Get Rich or Die Trying is very important to his career because I felt like both of those verses that year were verse of the year contenders. Both. And
it was on an album where everybody was looking, everybody was listening, and this is fresh off of 8 Mile. Honestly, man, when we talk about...
Those were 2 of the 10 to 15 best verses I heard that year, and it came on one album in 50... Yeah.
The Eminem that Jack Harlow talks about that, needs his respect and all that, I think that was the rebranding of Eminem from 2002 to 2003. He no longer was the kind of goofball character that was like in 99, 2000, where it was like, you know, the platinum blonde hair and, you know what I'm saying, the t-shirts and, you know, I'm Slim Shady. It wasn't that. 8 Mile, they made him a serious figure on an MC level. And I think that that is the aura that stuck or that they want to stick the most. Like, we're probably, when he gets inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year, because it is going to happen, we're going to see B Rabbit on stage. That's what we're going to see. We're not going to see Slim Shady on stage.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay, I got you.
That's the lasting image. Like when we talk about like Elvis or something, there's a lasting image you get of Elvis.
Right.
It's not Elvis in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? And I think the lasting image of M that we're gonna get is the B Rabbit image in a Scully.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna get the image of, you know, like what he looked like in the Real Slim Shady video and stuff like that.
Here's why branding is so important, and it's funny that you bring up the Scully. As soon as you said B Rabbit, I thought about a kid in a Champion jacket and a Scully.
Because even when, remember when they came out with Shady clothing or whatever, it was based on kind of that character.
I don't remember that. When did
you don't remember that?
No, I really don't. I'm not being funny, and I'm glad that I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? It was around the time when they had G-Unit clothing and all that. I'm sure y'all in the room remember Shady.
Was this around Purple Pills? Was this like Purple Pills D12 time?
It was around that time. But
okay, I checked out, Mike. I was outside. I was really outside.
The gear was like based on something that B Rabbit would wear. It wasn't based on something that you seen from him on, like, you know, the Marshall Mathers LP. But the branding of how they were able to change his image in that way with the movie, I think is genius. And, you know, anybody who watches the show, it was Shady 8 clothing is what it was called. Thanks, Gray 88. But yeah.
Like Shady 8 Mile?
Shady clothing was trash, says Chris.
Glad I was outside. Ooh.
Yeah. But yeah. The rebranding that they've done, that they did at that period for Eminem, I think was imperative, because I don't think that image of the Marshall Mathers LP Eminem would have lasted nearly this long. And there's longevity in the B Rabbit type of approach. I think that even B Rabbit's character has made people feel like nobody wants to battle Eminem, like it was something, like, you know what I'm saying? Like battling him is gonna turn out like something you saw on the big screen or something.
Well, I hate to go harp on it even further, but let's go back to the Jack Harlow Rolling Stone interview, and I found this to be very striking. And I think we kind of missed we missed the psychological and also the dichotomy of culture part of the sentiment expressed by Jack Harlow in this, when he said, 8 Mile made me want to rap. It's like, Hold up, a movie about somebody wanting to rap made you want to rap?
Exactly.
Mike, I guarantee you right now, without even knowing, the moment that made you want to rap, Mike, didn't come from a movie. It came from a song or an album.
Of course.
Outkast.
Honestly, man, Method Man on Shadowboxing made
There
me
we go. That's what I'm talking about. You heard something.
Yeah.
Think about it. He saw something that made him want to rap.
Yeah.
That's different.
I mean, I liked rap music before then, obviously, but when Method was putting down them verses on Shadowboxing, I'm like, man, I gotta do whatever this guy's doing, man.
I don't know any. No, I felt that way when I heard Nas on "Life's a Bitch and the World Is Yours." I was like, what he's doing.
Yeah.
That job. I want that job. But what I'm trying to say is that that's like somebody who's, you know, in the era slightly before us being like, well, Tougher Than Leather made me want to rap, not Run's House.
That doesn't make sense.
Run's House made you want to rap, not Tougher Than Leather, the movie. The movie didn't make you want to rap. Run's House made you want to rap.
Right. I mean, you hear everybody talk about, you know, when Run DMC came through, and what's the song I'm thinking about?
He made you want to rap. King of Rock.
King of Rock, yeah. But it was before
Sucker
that.
MCs.
Sucker MCs. They said when they heard that shit, like everything changed.
Yes,
it's one of those moments. It's one of those moments like Eric B is president. When that shit dropped, everything changed. Like, oh, okay, we were doing this, now we're doing this.
Yeah.
Shout out to our man with the super chat. He says, "Are y'all gonna review Cypress Hill's new album, Back in Black? The album was produced entirely by Black Milk. We definitely got to check that out too. I like Black Milk a lot.
Where's Muggs?
Good
and
question.
It's on my list.
Good question. Okay, let's get to this future.
Muggs produced 5 albums last year. We didn't get a chance to cover it, like I said. Muggs executive produced, and did production for 5 albums last year for separate artists.
So maybe we need to add a show, man, because there's so much to cover. If y'all gonna rock with us, if we add another show, y'all gonna rock with us.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's get to this future, man.
It's so long.
What's that?
I said the album list and stuff. Like
I love it, man. I love the fact that people are coming out with so much work, man. That's gonna make this next yearbook even better. And then people will have the collection of 2020. What's that?
I need people to subscribe to the page. Listen to me. Coop needs help. We need help.
Definitely.
Subscribe to the page, because we need to we're gonna have to bring more people on at some point.
And people are saying we need to review the Ransom album, so we got to add that to the list too.
The album?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I love it though, man. I love it, and we're gonna cover it all.
Ransom's getting bumped up on my list. That's getting played this weekend.
Yeah.